Hi, folks. My name is Girish, the host for Back to Basics, another Back to Basics for another week. Today, we're going to be talking about resumes. Yes, we did talk about resumes back in season 1, that is. But there's a different aspect to the resume writing and different style. And how do we input? What do we input? Do we still need 5 pages, or can we just deal with 1 page? Do we need just 1 paragraph, or do we just need to change our words? Those are the questions that we'll be asking today on this show today. And we have a person named by, I hope I pronounce this right, is Adrian. And if it is wrong, we'll go and correct that into the show today. But he's an amazing person. I spoke with him several weeks back, and he was sick earlier, but he's back again. And we'll talk to him and chit-chat about resume writing and what we have to deal with. So hi, how are you? And thanks for coming to Back to Basics.
Hi, Girish. Yeah, thank you for having me, and thank you very much for the invitation. Yeah, the name is Andrei, actually. Yeah.
Andrei, okay, I was close.
Andrei, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you again for coming on Back to Basics. Before we start the topic about the resumes and resume writing, the styles, and all that fun stuff we're going to talk about, but what does Back to Basics mean to you?
I think Back to Basics, or like the first time when you wrote and I saw that, it reminded me of Elon Musk's idea of working towards the first principles, like taking some basics. I mean, because I think every big business or like every startup has some basics that you need to nail, otherwise it will fail. And I think lots of people are forgetting about that you need to focus. It's like building a house, you need a foundation.
Yeah.
You cannot just start with the roof. So I think that's what for me, like when I hear Back to Basic and when I heard about you, that's what I thought about.
Yeah. So thank you again for coming onto the show, and thank you for answering that question. You know, I did a resume writing episode in season 1. Now I've explained what is resumes and how long it needs to be and all that fun stuff. Now I think we're living in a day and age. It looks like the styles have changed a little. What are your thoughts? I mean, has the style changed a little, or are people looking for different things in the resume now?
I think that, the style overall changed a little because now people prefer like more modern resumes, how they look, but also they need to be like really simple to read, and they need to stand out a bit. If you wanna, I mean, if you wanna create a great resume, you should make it in a way that you stand out a bit compared to all the hundreds that would look the same or are really boring. And I would say it depends from industry to industry. That's why, for example, on Novorésumé, we also have traditional and classic templates, while we also have creative and IT templates that are adapted to the new industries and the new types of skills. Yeah. So yeah, I would say, yeah.
No. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I would say that the resume, they evolved quite a lot in the last 10 years, especially like the format that needs to be sent. We still get this question a lot that, for example, why cannot they export it as a Word document? Because this was back in the 2000s, like everyone wanted the Word document, while we export it only as a PDF, because like, for example, PDF as file format has higher security and also looks the same both on a Mac and on a Windows computer. Because if you create a Word sometimes on a Mac, it might look a bit different, or some things might change. So yeah, I think people are not aware of that.
And I think the reason why I think they do PDF is because then they cannot modify your resume. Am I right?
You can modify PDFs as well if you have the software. There are even like free online softwares that you can use to modify PDFs, and also if you have from Adobe Suite, I think you can have an add-on to edit PDFs. Yeah, Word documents are easier to modify, and also this was sometimes a problem that you as a job seeker, you would send your resume, and then someone would find your resume somewhere, and they will edit your information, and that's not nice. And even now with the whole data protection and everything, it's quite illegal also.
So then how do we not make, let's say, someone modify your PDF file? I mean, Word file I can understand, but on the PDF, is there a way that we can put another layer of security on there?
I think you can lock PDFs. I'm not completely sure. So yeah,
Okay.
but from what I know, you can lock some PDFs that they cannot be edited, or you can edit only some parts of it. Yeah.
I see. I see. Okay. Thank you again for explaining that. You know, I read your company, Novorésumé. Can you explain to people what Novorésumé does? I mean, I know it because you and I are talking here, but what, can you explain what that company does?
Yes, we offer a professional and very intuitive resume builder, like where people can co-create their documents. So we offer templates and then dozens of personalizations features. So you can adapt your template to any industry that you apply for. So we offer
Mm,
you the templates and all the help that you need, and then you just need to input your information.
mm,
But even there, we have, for example, the content optimizers, and we have tips and examples. All the main sections, they are already uh, the headers are pre-written, so you don't need to worry. What do I write in the work experience? Well,
mm,
like the professional title should come first, then the company, then the years, and then achievements. So we have all that sorted for you. So
mm,
if you already know the information, you can fill it out and have a professional resume in under 5 minutes.
mm. Yeah. So thank you again. And then I was reading somewhere online that I think back in what is it, 2018 or something like that. That's when you had your first 400K people on your platform.
Yeah.
So I guess it's successful. And I think today, I think you are celebrating your anniversaries too on the company. Is that correct?
Yeah, we had 1 month ago, in 22nd of February. We
Mm.
uh, it was our 6 years anniversary since we launched the beta version, and yeah, now in January also we reached 8 million users worldwide.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome. So it seems like a lot of people are liking the template. So has the style kind of changed over the years, do you think? And how often do you change your templates? I mean, it can't be the same template that you used back in 2000 versus today. Am I right?
Yeah, they're very different. Like that's why we tried, like with Novorésumé, we took it like even in the name, because Novo means new in Latin, and resume,
Mm,
so it's like the new resume.
mm,
So we made even our traditional templates, can even the traditional one looks like quite modern, like
mm,
more modern elements, but you can
mm,
still make it look, if the recruiters really want a simple black and white
mm,
template, you can tailor ours as well, because we didn't want to cancel on that, saying that's nowhere good, because some people still like that and appreciate that. While we also created new templates. Even now in December, we created 8 new templates, like 2 of them, for example, being for tech, for
mm,
the tech industry, and which are more skill based. So we try to find new ways of showcasing skills, because as it was in 2000, it was not so like the tech industry was not so developed, so you didn't have all these hard skills that
mm,
can be shown in different ways. So
mm. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you again. I've been in the industry for the last 25 plus years and 30 years, right? In a
yeah.
technology field. Now, do I write all 30 years of my life into that one resume, or do I bring that down? There was an example and there was an article from Nova Resume about Elon Musk and how much information do you want to put in there, and do you want to just put less, right? So, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we stand by that. I think we created that in 2016, and we try to say and people to follow the concept of less is more. And especially if you have 25 years of work experience, you need to consider the jobs that you're applying for now, and
Mm,
not least, I would say, to not least more work experience that's older than 10, 15 years, because
mm,
most of the skills and software or what you use, then it's for sure updated.
mm,
And then yeah, of course you would need to check the requirements for the job you're applying for, because maybe for one of them, one job that you had 20 years ago, it has some transferable skills or achievements. So
sure.
in that way, we would recommend, for example, creating a master resume for you where you list everything, and then you kind of plug in what you need for each applications.
Mm.
And then you, like, each application might have 1 or 2 pages, your resume, but then like your whole experience is like 5 pages.
So, does that mean is that similar to, let's say, if people they don't use their services, does that mean also that I need to have at least 5 different resumes in my drive to apply for certain positions? Is that how it is? For example, there'll be one resume for sales, one for technology, one for whatever. I mean, even a Nova resume if I need to apply to you. What do I need to do? I need to modify all those resumes. Is that right?
Yeah, we would suggest you tailor each one for the job and company you're applying for, because each company it's different. Even if you apply for the same job, each company would require, for example, different skills or different software. Especially especially for example, as a software developer, they might you might apply for the position as a software developer, but each company might use different stack. So then you need to be aware of that. And what we've seen good feedback from the users, it's actually for using the color of the company that you're applying for in your resume. That's something really easy to do, and companies actually appreciate that. We got feedback from users that they've been told at the interview that they got compliments on the color of their resume, because they say, "Oh, you used the color of our company on your resume," so that's really nice. So it's
Oh, okay.
small
So
things,
that way.
small things like this. Yeah, you can tailor it. So to not create one CV and then send it to 100 companies, because they can easily see it's not tailored for them.
So let me ask you this question here. Do we apply to employers as we're thinking that we want a job, or do we act like that we are the brand and please hire us? What do you think of that?
Well, I think now in the recent years, it's kind of changed the balance from the companies. Now the power is to the job seekers, because I think there's more demand for job seekers. But at the same time, I would not say, like, never say, like, please hire me. I'm thinking we always say to our users, or wherever we have the chance, that to consider the resume as a marketing document. So and what it should do, it should sell you, and it should showcase what qualities you have to solve the problem that they need. Because a company, when they have a job ad, it means they have some problems that need to be solved, and they need to find out how you as a product can solve that exact problems. And you can showcase that through your skills, through your achievements, through your professional summary.
So now, thank you again, by the way. So, I mean, we're talking resumes from a person to an employer. So now, how about creating a resume for you, meaning me or you or whatever, being an entrepreneur? What do we write in there, and how do we explain to people that we're entrepreneurs, and how do we go from there? Is that a digital business card that we are going to be creating? What is that?
You can still create a normal resume. I actually created one for myself in December to apply for something, and it was quite a nice nice experience for me, like to do that. But you, of course, like, even as an entrepreneur, you have a title, or you're specialized in something, so you can put that as a title, and then you just put the name of the company, and then you write all your achievements that you have made in the company. And then also, while being an entrepreneur, you develop so many skills that are transferable. So you can mention those as well. And then the awards, if you had any awards, like what are your interests, what other achievements do you have other than entrepreneurship, and you can easily then have a resume.
Yeah, so thank you again, because some people they were asking that that's equal as my website. I mean, whatever it's in my about section, that's my resume. But I feel that in the about section is just a one paragraph. It doesn't really tell you what you do and what anyone does. So thank you again for explaining that. Now the other thing is, finding jobs is easy or is it difficult? Because I think the market is, they say the market is open now after this COVID stuff and the pandemic that we went through. But do you think that the market changed or the market opened?
I think it opened its many more opportunities for job seekers. And I see for myself, I came to Denmark in 2012, and it was so hard to find a job. I applied to like hundreds of companies, and even jobs like as a bartender, barback, stuff like that, even small jobs. And it was really hard. It was almost impossible. But now I see like there's so many job opportunities, there are so many job ads everywhere, and companies being like desperate to find someone. But then also it depends on the industry, and we see that ourselves, like at least here in Denmark, and I think in US as well, it's very hard to find tech talent because like developers now are not so many as there's need. So in that case, it's harder for companies. So, but I would say there is the opportunity, and I think even in the tech industry, like some people, they don't even need a resume because they are headhunted all the time. They don't.
Right. Yeah, that is true. That is true. So let me ask you this one last question, if you don't mind. Back in the days when we used to apply for jobs, then employers used to hire you because of you. Now I think the employers are being picky to choose you. Do you think that's the right statement? Do you think that's the trend that we're looking at now?
I think sometimes if you have because if you have more options, of course you would be picky, and it's in some cases as well that you try to hire based on hard skills 50%, but then the 50% is personality and soft skills, because I think the culture fit matters a lot. You need to make sure that even the person, even if they match all the hard skills, if they would not fit with the rest of the people, then it might create more problems actually than solve. So in this case, I think, companies are picky because you need to make sure that, after that you make the right hire.
Yeah. So thank you again for explaining that, and thank you for explaining all the resume stuff that you have explained from back in the days until today. And actually, I'm trying to compare between season 1 and season 2 of how it's kind of changed the thought process now when it comes to resume writing, because I think the time when we were talking about in season 1 that we were in the pandemic, and now we're talking post pandemic and how people and employers think nowadays. So thank you again for explaining that, and all the stuff that you do is just amazing work, and more the merrier. And I'll keep on contacting you if I have any questions in my head. But thank you again for being here and supporting me in this podcast. But before you leave today, how was your journey on Back to Basics, and do you have any last words to all my listeners and my viewers today?
My experience was really great. I think you're a great host, and I like the other episodes that you make and everything that you started. So congratulations on that. What you mentioned before, that you're doing this because it's your passion. I think that's really important, and this is what I would recommend to everyone, to all your readers, to follow their dreams, to follow their passion, and do it one step at a time. I'm thinking that if you think that you're in a forest and you see the goal somewhere in the end, you should not focus on that, but instead look at your feet and focus on the next step, and all the time look at the next step, and then in the end you will get to your end goal. I think easier.
Wow. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and thank you for explaining as simple as a resume writing or in resume designing or branding yourself. And I think those are the words that we use today. So thank you again for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So guys, we spoke with our guest today, and we talked about resume writing. We talked about the styles. We talked about branding. We talked about, is employers being picky or are we being picky? You decide that. So there are other things that we have talked about on this show, and I had an amazing time with my guest. As usual, as always, there is a quote for the day, and hopefully my guest will like this quote. The quote is, no one has a resume that they are 100% comfortable with, nor does anyone have a life that they are 100% comfortable with. So that's really redundant, isn't it? But if you really think about it, all the resumes that we write is not always 100%. It's always science, it's always something, and you always keep on doing something new. Just like what he said, the templates keeps on changing according to his company. Now, as usual, as always, what do we always say at the end of the episode? Everything in life goes back to basics, and that's what we did today, guys. Guys, take care, God bless, and I will see you next week on Back to Basics. Keep on subscribing to all the episodes. Comment on all the episodes, because I try my hardest to give all the information as I can in every episode. And in every episode, including this one, the 3 things is always the best for me, which is the content, the guest, and definitely the host. Guys, take care, God bless, and I will see you next week on Back to Basics.
Next week's episode on Back to Basics.
Within a 12-month period, because their audience is there, and they're able to then help people leverage that platform better. And I think we're seeing that now on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
People that just started putting out content and now are training others to put out content and becoming millionaires overnight, but there was no overhead. And that's the big thing. Back in the day, you couldn't just become an entrepreneur because the overhead. My father was an entrepreneur. He had a store in the South Street Seaport, and the year he closed his store, it was $25,000 per month, right? Plus employees, plus